All right, guys, welcome back to Warcraft 2 Arena, Episode 8, Part 2. So this is just a follow-up, of course, to Part 1 of the tournament that I'm currently playing in on Remastered version of the game here. And so if you've not watched the first video, I won't spoil it, but anyway, the first round requires you to play 2 games against 3 different opponents in your division. And so the first 2 opponents I played in the first video of part 1, and this is just finishing up the first round here. And yeah, so same map, Skirmish and the River Kwai. Now my opponent in this game is actually a fairly new player. So the title of this is 30 years versus 30 days of experience. And yeah, so the first video has got a lot of action and tight games. I'll just say up front, this one not so much, but yeah, so gonna be a different type of video on this one here. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started here. So all right, so basically we've got myself here starting on Skirmish in the kind of 6 o'clock position, and being a 2-player map, my opponent is gonna be up in the 10 o'clock area of the map there. So yeah, just kind of getting started here and just having a little chat with him. And yeah, he's been playing, he said, for a few weeks. So, and I haven't really been playing for 30 years. I started about 30 years ago, but so anyway, it just sounded like a more appealing title for a video than, you know, 20 years off and on, starting 30 years ago versus a couple of weeks or whatever. Anyway, kind of reminds me of those zombie movies, 28 Days Later, and then there's like a 28 weeks later, and then I think they just made a new one 28 years later or something like that. Anyway, so yeah, definitely a different scope of experience here. And yeah, so I pretty much go the same strategy I used in the first 2 games on this map, which is just 2 Rex, you know, rushing with low peon count, and you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So kind of see me starting off there with that. And anyway, we'll see what my opponent's up to here. So yeah, this beating him here is basically going to solidify my advancement in the tournament here. So I'm not really sweating things right now because I realized that this guy had lost to you know, the 2 guys that I had just faced in my previous video. And yeah, so I wasn't too worried about at least taking 1 game off of this guy before I even played him. I think one of the guys who mentioned him earlier when I was playing against him said that he was fairly new to the game. So, I mean, that's not to say he can't take a win off of me, but I mean, there's definitely a pretty big gap in terms of what you're able to do in this game based on your skill level. And you know, but at the same time, this game isn't really it's not like it's not as hard as, let's say, StarCraft, for example. Like StarCraft, you know, it's going to take you a long time to be competitive against, you know, the top level players in StarCraft. Warcraft, not as much. You know, the skill cap is you know, definitely lower, I would say, in Warcraft 2 than it is in StarCraft at the highest levels. Anyway, I kind of, as you see here, I run up with my grunts, and now he's actually, I'll give him credit, like he's fairly new to the game, but he's actually pretty good. I mean, he's holding me off here to some level. I mean, he's not really, but you know, he's doing okay. And I mean, he knows he's got to run his peons away, and you know, so he's got some basic ideas here. And actually, I kind of like the way he built his base too, with the tower there. You know, granted, it didn't really pay off for him here, and you can see him fighting me off with his worker units here as well. So, I mean, he's clearly got some sense of, you know, how to play the game for sure. But yeah, going back to that tower, I kind of like that in a way. I mean, it's not the greatest setup in the world, but if that was upgraded and I was coming up and, you know, engaging his grunts with that backing him up, I mean, that could have been you know, a big for him, and it covers his you know, his gold mine, and yeah, so it's not a bad placement. I mean, ideally you want to wall off a tower, especially if it's going to be a cannon tower, which I assume was his plan there, where he doesn't have a lumber mill yet. But anyway, yeah, you can see I pretty much, you know, I don't really have much mercy on the guy here. And yeah, so I pretty much, at this point, I've solidified my place in advancement in the tournament. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into the next game here. So this one's on the River Kwai. So this map is, you know, after watching myself, you know, play it, recording my last video, and then having played it twice, I actually, by this point, I had a pretty good feel for this map. Unfortunate for my opponent here, you know, so, and I've actually kind of grown to really like this map. I think these are both great one-on-one maps, really. You know, Skirmish is just really fun. I mean, it's just action, arcadey action right in your face right from the get-go. And then this map is really, you know, there's definitely more layers to it. It's a bigger map. You're farther away from your opponent, and navigating this map is, we'll say, cumbersome, but that creates some, you know, some complexity as well. So anyway, so I know in this game I'm gonna kind of lay off the gas a bit, because I realize the guy's, you know, not really, you know, he's not going to be very competitive, I'll just be honest, against me here. Yeah, so as I kind of say that, I'm, you know, kind of thinking I'm going to be aggressive, and I kind of let him know. And yeah, I had sent him my video, my previous video before we played this series as well, just to kind of help him out a bit, to give him, you know, maybe some insights into what I might be doing, and, you know, give him a little bit of a competitive advantage there, just because I like I said, I kind of knew he was a newer player, so he didn't actually get around to watching them, I guess. But anyway, he might watch this one where he's the star of the show, so we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just kind of, I was actually planning on going and upgrading some towers like around his base here, you know, to put some pressure on him. But then I just said, I'll actually just go expand pretty much right underneath him, and then I can use that as kind of like a launching point, you know, for, you know, my barracks and my offensive units. And then I don't have to, you know, run around the map, and, you know, everything's just kind of there in his face. So, and then at the same time, I take another expansion. So I pretty much just took three bases here, pretty much from the get-go, because I really wasn't worried that he'd be able to do anything about it. But yeah, like, I don't know, it's kind of it puts me in a weird position, because on the one hand I want to, you know, give him a fighting chance, and also, you know, let him play a little bit, maybe give him a bit of sense of, you know, accomplishment through the game. But at the same time, it's a tournament game. Like, if this wasn't a tournament game, I probably would be doing things a little differently. But because, I mean, just because you're new, if you join a tournament, I'm not going to go easy on you, I'm sorry. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of like StarCraft. One thing I actually didn't like about StarCraft, like, I would say Warcraft 2 is a very new friendly game. Like, people are generally going to be very welcoming. Like, I had joy in my heart seeing that we have a new Warcraft 2 player here, because a big part of the reason I'm making these videos is to encourage people to play this fantastic game, and hopefully, you know, kind of help foster a new generation of players here in this game. And so, yeah, I really love seeing this guy in this especially in this tournament. You know, he's just like new, doesn't really know what he's doing competitively to some extent, but he's like, you know what, tournament time, let's do this. You know, I respect the cojones on this guy. So yeah, anyway, going back to, you know, StarCraft, you know, that game has like these sociopaths and there's a lot of them. Like, they'll host one-on-one Lost Temple noob games, and then I'm like, okay, well, I haven't played this game in a few years, and I'm, you know, was really not that great at it to begin with, so I'll just join this game, and maybe, you know, we'll just kind of have an easygoing kind of casual game. And then you join the game, and it's this guy sitting in a Korean cafe with like 400 APM just absolutely slaughtering you in, you know, embarrassing fashion, and then talking trash to you, and you're like, dude, you asked for a noob, I'm a noob, and here you are, like, basically, like, having some, you know, sociopathic ego boost over it, you know. And I'm just like, why would anyone ever? And then you notice there's like 5 of these other games and all these like Korean symbols or whatever for their names, and you're like, maybe I'm just a noob to Korean players, like, you know, maybe that's what it was, but I don't know, it just seemed a little, yeah. So anyway, in Warcraft 2, like, I mean, obviously population wise it's a factor too, but generally speaking, like, if you're a new player in Warcraft, people are going to kind of take it easy on you. So I'm just kind of playing SimCity here. I mean, I actually, what I was thinking is I'm going to attack them with some archers, and I'm actually going to upgrade them just to kind of see, you know, what kind of damage they can do, and you know, while also kind of letting them play it out a bit, and you know, whatever. So anyway, so as I'm fiddling around with my controls here, trying to build I think that was a stables, I don't even know. Yeah, so anyway, as you can see here, I'm starting to mount up a handful of archers there as I go ahead and upgrade them to level 3 on their arrows, and I'm also just pumping up a bunch of barracks there. So I'm kind of like trying to balance a few things here in the game where I'm like, let him play, make sure there's no way in hell he's ever going to win at the end of the game, but also, you know, maybe letting him you know, get a little win here, you know, because I realize, you know, just having archers alone is not actually like ever really a great strategy. I mean, depending on the circumstance, of course, but like just what I'm doing here, like just having a handful of archers just for no real reason. Anyway, so I kind of scout him up here with my peon, and I see what he's got here, and as you can see there, he's just getting his lumber mill. So I put a tower there to kind of block any grunts from going in to attack my my archers there. And I just kind of thought here, I'll just I mean, walling that off with a town hall would not be something I would probably do like in a competitive game, but here I just thought, okay, well, I'll just kind of see what kind of damage my archers can do here while I've got that walled off, and then behind that I'll just go kind of, you know, gangbusters, and oh, sorry, it was a blacksmith I was building there. Yeah, behind this I'll just kind of go, you know, gangbusters, and you know, just pretty much blow my economy up, and, you know, keep putting up some more barracks here. And yeah, so as you can see there, he's got a whole mess of grunts attacking that town hall, and which is still building, and I think he might even kill it before it finishes. I kind of wasn't really paying attention, but he does take it out there eventually. So you can see my first mine's blown there, and yeah, so kind of transition over to wood there, and actually I don't have too much wood, got a lot of gold, but anyway, so when you do have an expansion that blows like that and you've got a bunch of workers that transition over to wood, it's smart to go over to your other base or bases and make sure that you've got everything on gold. That way because you're not going to need wood after, you know, assuming you leave your peons to chop some wood for a while there. So just some basic resource management. Anyway, so you can see there he makes quick work of those archers, and yeah, I didn't really have them positioned very well. I pretty much ran right into his grunts. I mean, in a situation like that, you'd want to kind of keep them at distance as long as you could, and then, you know, basically almost kind of like kite the grunts around, where you know, attack and then move away, and you know, that's the idea really. But I mean, they're glass cannons, as you know, one term, basically meaning that they're high damage output but very little defense. So a couple of slices from a blade there, and your archer is dead and gone. Anyway, so you can see I go ahead and take my natural there, and yeah, so I'm really, I'm kind of playing in second gear here, to be honest. Like, I'm just kind of puttering around because, again, I'm not too worried. As you can see here, I've pretty much mounted a pretty sizable army of knights here, where he's, as we'll discover here, pretty much on one base, and yeah, he doesn't really have much of much of anything here at this point in the game. And that, you know, I'm not as, he can sneakily has a grunt in my gold mine there, killing all my workers. And I honestly, I think I kind of knew that anyway. I just didn't, I was like, whatever, I'll let him kill some of my workers. Because yeah, he's got no way of winning here in this game. And I mean, this isn't me bragging. I mean, like, he's probably better than me when I was, you know, having only played this game for a short period of time. And it comes with time. But actually, you know, going back to that, like, I used to have this friend. He was a really good gamer. And anyway, he had never played this game in his entire life. And I started kind of training him to play with me. And within about a month, he was actually being pretty competitive with me. So yeah, like, you can get good at this game fast if you've got the aptitude to do it. So it's not one of these games like, you know, it takes years to master. But I mean, the more experience you do have, it's just little things that are just going to keep kind of connecting in your brain. And, you know, yeah, you just, I mean, and a lot of it's just kind of muscle memory too. And like, yeah, so with that said, like, you know, I know, like, I think part of the benefit of me having so much experience in this game is, like, I know when I can kind of be lazy, you know. It's like, especially as I'm getting older, like, I don't want to be playing this game like I'm on cocaine, you know, all the time. Like, I like the idea of, you know, being able to change gears as I play here, as we finish up the game here. So yeah, these are, you know, these stats are kind of, you know, pretty lopsided. I mean, yeah, but you know, I was really happy to play this guy, and you know, he seems like a nice guy, and I was happy to see he's a new player. So I hope he keeps playing, and he'll be probably kicking my butt here in no time. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this. So this puts me at 5-1 in my division, and so I've left my first group in first place. So now I'm going into the second round, where I play. I forget his name, but anyway, he's going to be playing me in a best of 3 series throughout the span of this week at some point. And so I'm sure we'll connect, and I'll hopefully record those games and keep this episode 8 series going here. And for as long as I keep winning anyway, this, you know, my next video could be my last. We'll find out. Anyway, guys, if you enjoy this content, like and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I've got some big things I'm cooking up right now for Warcraft and the Warcraft community. So, you know, stay tuned for that. I'm going to be making some announcements here soon. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, just have a fantastic day. And yeah, take care, guys.